visited Paris and I went to the Shakespeare and Company bookshop, which is a pretty popular bookshop in Paris. And so I just wanted to talk to you about some of the books that I got. I didn't get too many because it was my birthday recently. I'll link my birthday book haul if you want to watch that one. But yeah, I feel like I just need to take a break from buying books for a little while because I have received so many recently. But being in Paris and going to that bookshop, I just felt like I had to get a few. I only got 3 books. One of them is actually for a friend, so 2 for me. I'm going to talk to you about the bookshop. I actually wasn't allowed to film inside. There's a sign saying no videos or photos, and so I wasn't able to capture the inside, but I will add footage of the outside of the bookshop in case you want to see what it's like. So the bookshop is near the Notre Dame. I went on a weekend, I think, to be fair. No, actually I didn't. I went on a Friday, I think. And there was a line outside. And so I thought, I'm just gonna leave it. I'll come back another day. But given I was there and I wasn't planning on coming back to that part of the city, I thought I'll just wait. And so, yeah, I waited. The line didn't take that long. I got in to the bookstore pretty quick. So just to talk to you about the bookstore a bit, I actually really like the format of the bookstore, like the way it was sectioned or structured. So you enter the bookstore and then you basically have just fiction, general fiction, including classics, all of those things. And then as you go to the back, there's a non-fiction section, and there's a door that branches off into sci-fi, fantasy, mysteries, and another door that branches off into like YA, children's books. One thing I really liked was that the way that the books were displayed, I feel like the books facing outwards on the bookshelves were not always, you know, the super popular books you've heard about if you were into books. So when I walked in, I was really hoping to find something I'd never heard of before. And given the way the books were displayed, I did end up finding something I'd never heard of. Another thing that was really cool is I feel like a lot of bookshops don't necessarily give people the space to sit and enjoy a book in that setting. Like they might have a coffee shop or a restaurant if it's a big bookshop, but you know, not amongst the books necessarily. Whereas this bookshop on the top floor, there were these benches, chairs. It was just like a really cozy place if someone did want to sit and just read there. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about the books that I got. So the first one is Skippy Dies by Paul Murray. So this book I'm actually really excited about. It's about this boy Skippy, and I think we're told on the first page that he dies, but I don't think it's actually a dark book. I might be completely wrong, but we then go back to the beginning of his time in boarding school. So he goes to this boarding school in Dublin. We basically follow him and his friends' lives. They're quite young, so you know, their first love, like them dealing with bullies at school, you know, trying drugs for the first time or something like that. And I think we just follow this group of friends or this cast of characters that is younger. I think there's going to be a lot of humor in this book, but also I think it talks about just life and life lessons, and being human. I don't think it's going to be a serious book, and I like the setting of a boarding school. I like that it's in Dublin because I don't know if I've ever read about a book set in Dublin or Ireland before. So yeah, I'm actually super excited to get to this one. Then I have this one, the Songlines. This was a book I got in a mystery box in the shop. So they had these books for €8. They were wrapped up. It basically told you that it would be a secondhand book, and that would be a classic. So I just took one of the mystery boxes hoping for the best. And I got this, a book I'd never heard of before. It's called The Songlines by Bruce Chatwin, and it's set in Australia, again a place I don't know if I've read a book from there before. I believe it follows the author as he journeys through Australia. It's a book about travel, about the meaning of life, religion, anthropology. I believe it dives into a lot of bigger issues, theology, philosophy. And to be honest, I don't know much more than that. It says Bruce Chatwin, the author, ventures into the desolate land of outback Australia to learn the meaning of the Aboriginals' ancient dreaming tracks. Along these timeless paths, amongst the fortune hunters and redneck Australians, racist policemen and mysterious Aboriginal holy men, he discovers a wondrous vision of a man's place in the world. I won't lie, I don't know how I feel about this one. I guess I'm glad it's something I haven't heard of before, but at the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily my type of book or genre. I can't imagine myself picking it up super soon, but maybe one day I will. And then the last one, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I know this is a pretty popular one. This is the one that I actually got for one of my friends. This one I was recommended by the lady in the bookstore. I asked for a book set in Paris, and she recommended this as well as The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This one is basically about an American man, David, who moves to Paris in the 1950s. He is set to be married to this woman in America, but at a bar he meets a man called Giovanni and they develop a relationship. And I believe it basically talks about questioning your sexuality, accepting and dealing with it in a society that condemns you for who you love, and I guess how this man David deals with it. And I think it's basically a tragic book because I think he ends up going forward with the marriage to the woman he doesn't love and leaving Giovanni behind. I'm sure there's some interesting conversations in here. But yeah, if you're ever in Paris, I would definitely recommend checking out Shakespeare and Company. It's quite a unique bookstore, I think. It's not like a bookstore I've been to before, and I can see why it's hyped up. But yeah, it was funny when I was leaving, there were these two guys and they were like, who's in there? Is there a celebrity? Because there was like a line for the bookstore, and I was like, no, it's just a bookstore. But yeah, it's cool to see that many people loving literature, wanting to go to a bookstore, you know, read a physical book. I think it's all great. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love if you would like the video and subscribe. And yeah, just thank you again. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time.